What's poppin', guys? Sizzle here, and today we're taking a look at every single agent in CSGO to try and figure out what the best one is. Probably so I can actually get myself one. So yeah, to begin with, we have ourselves the Elite Crew. Just normal, bare arms. That's the important part, mainly for agents, is what their arms look like. That's what you personally see, but there's also some importance in how the character themselves look. And, this guy just looks decent. Looks like your standard terrorist character model. Might be a little bit. I probably have to watch my wording a bit for the YouTube auto censor stuff. But anyway, yeah, he's pretty decent. I'd say he's probably just your average D tier, just like kind of whatever. Right? I feel like you wouldn't recognize this as a paid agent's gonna be like one of the defaults. Then we have Phoenix, or Soldier Phoenix. I guess you have to mention specifically what they are. This one's extremely bland. I mean, the other one looked like pretty nice with decent colors, whatever. This one's just really bland. I feel like there's no point in really buying this one unless you really like the Phoenix logo on his shirt. So I say he's an F tier. Then we have Enforcer Phoenix, and he's the same thing but with white coloring. Honestly, I think the red looked nicer than the white here, so I think this one's just even worse. I'd put him even lower than our other Operation Phoenix friend here. But actually finding this guy will be a bit of a hassle because there's a lot of agents. I think I actually put them in inverted order? Or is there just a third guy? Oh, there is just a third guy. Okay. I think we haven't seen this guy yet. There we go. Next up, we have ourselves Aspirant Gendarmerie Nationale. I'm gonna butcher a lot of names in this. There's a lot of complicated names. Anyway, he's got a bunch of tools and stuff on his back. Like, straight up, like, armor plating and stuff. Got blue sleeves with like armor on them. I don't know if you'll see like the armor, but if you do, I mean that doesn't look particularly nice. Yeah, I think he's different from stock, so I have to get some credit and put in D tier. Maybe I put this guy up to C tier because he should have solid, stock looking but just good looking guy. This guy I think doesn't look too great, and especially his arms just are not all that. So I'd say he's D tier. The other thing is now C tier. Then we have Dragomir Saber Foot Soldier. I always like the mustache beard combo like this. He's got a hood on, which is kind of something notable. He's just got like a basic everyday outfit with like a vest on top of it. The arms, you do have a specific color of sleeve, so depending on your skin or glove or whatever, it can look pretty nice. For me personally, I have like the Hydra gloves. So with that, it actually looks pretty natural. Like just a pretty natural transition between the two. So for my specific gloves, this would actually be one of the better agents. But as a general agent, I mean, I think he's still in the C tier, even though I do like him a bit more. There's a bit more personality to this guy than the other guy in C tier, just like your usual masked terrorist. So I'm gonna say he's a probably a high C tier agent. Then next up, we have Operation FBI SWAT. And he's just pretty generic, but he does have the green colored sleeves, which, kind of you're gonna go with my gloves specifically, but yeah, he'll be a lot more, depending on what skins you have. You can see there's a bug with the inspect where the glove is clipping into the weapon. Don't think that's supposed to be happening. But yeah, I mean, just I don't know, overall just standard decent guy. I'd say probably a low C tier, probably just a high D tier instead, honestly. Just super generic looking, nothing special about him. Then we have ourselves Biohazard Specialist SWAT. He's got a really cool kind of headpiece going on, but he has kind of the same thing with the sleeves. I don't think you see like this armor padding stuff, but if you do, it's not particularly nice. But without that, I mean, if you just see the edge of his sleeve, it's kind of whatever. The mask itself is cool. The actual skin itself, I really like what it's got going on, like the whole caution backpack thing and the helmet mainly. I think it's pretty dope. So I'm gonna say it's a B tier. I just really like the helmet. It's very unique. I mean, you can see all the previews down here of all the different skins, and I don't think anything even remotely looks like that. And I think it looks kind of sick. So just for the helmet alone, it's a B tier. The rest of the skin is kind of whatever. But it's got a cool helmet, just super notable. Then we have Jungle Rebel Elite Crew, and this is like genuinely the most standard terrorist model on planet Earth. But it does have nice facial features, I guess. Very clean shave and whatnot, but I think he's just too standard. I'm gonna put him like high D tier. Yeah, kind of whatever. Then we have the current CT model I believe I'm using, SEAL Team 6 Soldier NSWC SEAL. I really liked like the glasses when I got them, but you know, looking at it again, there's a lot of stuff on his chest. I think that might actually be enough to be a literal disadvantage. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Let's go to like, I don't know, let's go like a normal SWAT guy. Yeah, there's like a whole extra bunch of stuff, so you can get like spotted a bit easier with all his extra gear, so it's just straight disadvantage. But he does have, you know, nice, like, almost camo-looking sleeves, which can work a lot better with a lot of different skins and stuff. And he does have a very nice looking helmet, so I'll give him credit for that. But there is a notable, I mean, this seems like a game disadvantage, maybe I'm wrong with that, and if I am, I mean, please genuinely correct me in the comments, because I don't want to be spreading misinformation, at least in this video. So yeah, I'd say probably a C tier. I wouldn't normally put him B tier because I really like his mask and the sleeves are kind of pretty decent. But if that game disadvantage thing is true, then yeah. And also I think I messed up the two helmets. I guess there's two guys with the same helmet, but those are the only two agents that I can see with the same kind of setup. But yeah, there we go. The right thing's now in B tier. But anyway, next up we have a 3rd Commando Company KSK. I think this might be the guy I have, because I think I wouldn't buy something with a major disadvantage like that. Like, this guy's got a tiny bit of extra chub because of this weird front pack thing. But overall, he's got a, you know, the same cool looking goggles, nice, like, mask helmet setup or whatever. And, you know, decent looking sleeves. Nothing too crazy, nothing too bad. Just your standard camo sleeves. They're kind of alright. I think realistically, I think he's a low B tier, like very low B tier. But I believe I like the mask enough to put him in B tier. And I definitely inverted these agents, which might happen a lot with if there's a lot of them that are super similar like that. Then we have Trapper Aggressor Guerrilla Warfare. Yet again, standard, just T model, but with some pretty buff, janky arms. That's all there's to it. It's alright. I mean, I guess this one's color preference, but I like the color yellow, so I don't like this one as much. So it's a lower C tier. I like the yellow guy probably the most out of just the base color T models. Then we have Chemhaz Specialist SWAT. This guy's got cooler coloring. Just generally, I like the lighter blue colors over the other colors. It's unfortunate there's no real way for me to see how the sleeves look without like loading up each agent in game like fully. And I'm honestly way too lazy to do that, so this is the best we're gonna get. The sleeves are definitely like a bit of a unique color, but still just like a solid sleeve. More darker color, kind of generic, but I do really like the look of the hat or helmet or whatever. It looks way cooler on this one, this guy than the other guy. And the general color of his outfit is a lot nicer too, so I think he's probably a B tier. Pretty straightforward. Then next up we have ourselves B Squadron Officer SAS. And I mean, yeah, this is generic CT model. I feel like this one might be from Office or something. It's got some interesting, different type of colored camo sleeves, which I can't think of any skin that works with too well, but maybe there's something. I guess that's a notable part of him. He's got some, you know, noticeably interesting sleeves with a different pattern. Other than that, it's super generic, super whatever. Probably just, you know, your standard C tier, like kind of just whatever looking agent. I feel like he's better than this guy with the standard, just, you know, arms and loadout. So yeah, just a C tier. Then next up we have ourselves Street Soldier Phoenix. I guess it's the 3rd or 4th guy with the same exact fit. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of whatever. He's got like a little, like, shark teeth kind of Joker face with his mask, I guess. He just looks kind of bad, honestly. I think the Phoenix soldiers just kind of don't look good. And this guy's definitely not an exception to that rule. I guess I put him here. I guess we have seen all of these guys. I think the guy with the red Phoenix is the best of the three, and honestly, this white crazy face thing just does not look good. I'm gonna say he's probably the worst thing we've seen so far. Easy low F2. Then we have Primeiro Tenente Brazilian 1st Battalion. And this guy's kind of, he's unique. He's got some like glow sticks. He's got a very unique looking backpack with like a hatchet. It almost looks like. He doesn't have too much extra chub. A nice general, green look to him, and green camo sleeves, which I know a lot of these guys have, but it's definitely not bad to have. That tends to go with most skins. And a very, solid looking top, like the Fisher bucket hat thing. I always like personally. I think it looks pretty nice, especially in real life. But anyway, it's a pretty good looking guy, pretty nice looking sleeves. I'd say he's a solid B tier, a very solid option to go for an agent skin. Then next up we have ourselves D Squadron Officer NSZS or whatever. Very dark, unnoticeable sleeves. Otherwise, pretty much stock guy. I'd say he's probably a D tier. Like, this guy's a lot less impressive than his counterpart, who had a pretty unique coloring of sleeve or whatever. He's just kind of your standard CT agent. Debatably a little more generic than the average CT agent. Then we have Osiris Elite Crew, and this guy just looks like a standard, I don't know, just guy in clothing. Got a mask on, I guess, with a tiger thing or whatever, but he just has exposed skin, and there's nothing special with the arms, nothing special with the agent. I mean, he's just kind of whatever. Actually, I should have been having these guys down here too. I do really like the color yellow on this guy, though, so I'm going to keep him in C tier. But yeah, I think he's just your, your standard agent. Special about him, easy D tier. The D tier is just kind of mix whatever. It's not, most of the other tiers are pretty much in order. D tier is going to be the one where I think it's just going to be kind of out of order because it's all very, very personal preference heavy. Then we have Maximum Saber. This guy looks like a Irishman. I think. That's what Irish people look like, right? I think it was, just your Irishman guy. He's got a nice, like, bowler fleece coat thing. Very big neck. When he just did that head turn, you could see he's got a massive neck. And then, he's got the Irish cap. That's what made me think of that. Otherwise, just some standard clothing. It's pretty alright, pretty decent. If that's a look you like, that's something you're gonna like. But I think it's just a kind of C tier agent. His sleeves also, I guess that's the part I should have talked about. His sleeves are just a basic leather. They're just kind of whatever, but not bad, but nothing special. Then we have Dragomir Saber. Yet again, another hooded T guy with a cap. Leather arms this time. I actually forgot what the last guy had. Wonder if I still have him up. Do still have him up. Let's see what the last guy had. The last guy had, like, basic leather stuff, but it was, like, lighter color. And this guy has, basic leather stuff. But it's a bit of a darker color. I guess this is, like, the darker version of the other guy. And in CS, that might actually be a bit of an advantage. So, other than personal preference on colors, this guy's, like, a tiny bit better, I guess, gameplay-wise. He's a tiniest little bit hard to spot, so technically he's right above the other guy, but really they're about on the same tier. It's like a really moot point, no one really cares. So yeah, I already moved them, I kind of forgot to swap over, he's like C tier. Then next up we have ourselves Buckshot NSWC Seal. This guy got a lot of chest heavy stuff, a lot of stuff in his back. Like 2 axes or hatchets or whatever, a bunch of glow sticks again, but then a bunch of pockets on the front. I don't know if these... the problem is I don't know if these are actually game disadvantages, but I feel like they gotta be. Like, there's so much extra space being used than normal. He's also got a bunch of stuff in his head too, so if in case the body wasn't enough, he also has extra stuff in his head. And they don't even look good is the worst part. I mean, it's just like binoculars randomly on his head. I guess it's like realistic or whatever, but yeah. And he just has basic green sleeves, no like camo sleeves or anything, nothing special. He's just super generic and debatably bad. Like there's just straight up might be a disadvantage, and for that I'm gonna put him F tier. He's like the worst default looking guy. Then we have Marcus Deltro, FBI HRT. Yeah, just super generic looking CT model. And, basic green sleeves. He's just he's the most standard thing you could have. Just a solid random D tier. I think the Terrorists generally look better than the CTs, personally, so they're always going to go a little bit above. Then we have Slingshot Phoenix. So I guess there was another Phoenix. Maybe I missed one of them. Yeah, I mean, this guy, he's got a goofy looking mask. I guess he has cool artwork on his back, but you're never gonna really see that. The white icon on the red and orange background kind of looks a little bit better, but yet again, just bare arms and nothing too special about him. Kind of whatever looking. I'm gonna say, he's with the other guys in F tier. Now let me just make sure there's not, because I think I've looked at 4 of these guys now. And I still think this is the best looking one, just the basic red mask with a basic red icon. But if there is another guy with the same kind of combo, I do want to make sure, I catch him. I don't just have him sitting here on the tier list for no reason, but I don't see one. Oh, this is him, I guess. Yeah, I think, honestly, because basic red, basic black, then this weird striped guy, then the white guy, because the white guy just... good. Then next up, we have ourselves Sous Lieutenant Medic Gendarmerie Nationale. I cannot say that. Okay, last word there is Nationale. I guess it gets cut off. This guy, no extra chest stuff. Pretty cool, high-tech looking back thing. He's got like the armor pads or whatever. Basic blue sleeves and just solid, okay looking helmet. I guess he's like kind of a unique look, but not a particularly good unique look. I'd say he's probably just low seats here. Then next up, we have ourselves John Van Heelen Cask SWAT. Tiniest bit of like front space, but nothing super major that I feel like would be a game disadvantage. Then basic blue sleeves. I mean, nothing crazy about that. And pretty cool, like like boombox and well, I guess it's not a boombox, probably something else, but it looks like a boombox kinda. And then a medic bag. Got some nice glasses on and a pretty goofy looking helmet. I mean, he's just kind of whatever. I think he's similar situation, pretty unique, but nothing crazy like seats here. Then next up we have Blueberries Buckshot NSWC Seal. This guy is very unique. I believe he's the only guy with the blue camo sleeves, which is super notable and matters a lot for a lot of skin combos and whatnot. So just for that, he's pretty unique. Otherwise, I mean, he has a bit of chest fluff, but not as much as I feel the other guys do. Got the stupid binoculars on his head, unfortunately, but those sleeves are super important, and he's got very unique sleeves. And just for that, it's worth putting him in A tier. He's like the first guy I can think of that has super notable sleeves. I guess the other guy had like the green camo ones, but I kind of didn't realize that there wouldn't be many of those, so I guess that guy might go a bit higher. Then we have Sergeant Thompson SWAT, very generic looking CT guy. General color of dark green, which isn't really anything that special. But whatever. I mean, he's just whatever. I'd say he's just somewhere in D tier. Yeah. Then next up we have Lieutenant Treehugger Farlow. Female operator, it seems, with green camo sleeves. So I guess this is yet again another camo skin. Enthusiast or whatever. Not a lot of stuff on the chest, not that much on the back. You have some like pliers and hammers and stuff, which you don't have on a lot of other skins. Very unique kind of head. You got camo on your face, like a little beanie, and then headphones on. Very unique looking. Plus has like the camo sleeves, which could be useful for some skins and stuff. I'd say it's probably a low A tier. Then next up, we have ourselves Officer Jacques Beltram, Gendarmerie Nationale. Again, yeah, he's pretty generic looking, other than like the goofy hat. I guess if you like the goofy hat or the baton and text on the back, he's kind of whatever. He's got just the basic blue sleeves. This one's yet again personal preference type of stuff. I think it's just kind of whatever. Yet again, probably better than the other two I have the bottom of C tier, but nothing more than that. I think this was the guy with the special sleeves, so I'm going to move him up to low B tier, assuming that I'm right about that. If not, then whoever had the special camo sleeves will move to low B tier, because it looked generic but had cool sleeves. Then we have Trapper, Guerrilla Warfare. I think this is one of the worst variants of it, honestly. Pretty shit-looking top with the, yet again, generic muscular bottom. I think, you're gonna get the generic Trapper. I'd rather have this guy, to be honest. I think they're too generic, and if you want muscular guys, you got like a lot more good options than those guys. Then, speaking of better options for muscular guys, you have Colonel Mango's BC Guerrilla Warfare. Just really nice, muscular black guy. A very cool fucking looking hat, nice glasses. Got some cool armbands and stuff. It's weird lighting on the muscles in the spec screen, but in game most of the stuff looks fine. Nice, yellow tank top and kind of generic pants and boots. But yeah, I mean, you see muscular black guy. That's what you want. I mean, I don't think it's anything even close to as good as this, especially not better. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty nice. The one thing is like, bare skin is not the best for for the really big skin enthusiast. For the average person, when you're walking around looking like this, it's pretty fucking good. Definitely a solid A tier. Then next up, we have Little Kev, the Professionals. And, this is just like a well-dressed terrorist. The very interesting beard, like more beardy beard than normal. Got like a money bag thing, I guess, down his back, and then just some generally formal attire. Kind of whatever. I mean, he's a little bit special, I guess. So I guess I'll put him C tier, but yeah, kind of whatever. Then next up, we have ourselves Getaway Sally, the Professionals. And this is a female, yet again with a beanie. Basically the same thing, formal attire, basic getup. I guess she has white sleeves. Did the other guy have white sleeves? I didn't even pay attention to that. So the other guy has arms, which is why I thought he was so generic. But she, importantly, has white sleeves. And that could be super important for whatever gloves or whatnot you have. That could end up making a lot of stuff look a lot nicer. And overall, I mean, she's got a very clean fit. I'd say this is actually one of the better agents, just for that. I didn't even realize. Definitely, probably A tier. Yeah, high A tier. I think the agent looks really good. Debatably the best one we've seen so far. And then the white sleeves are a massive plus, probably. I don't really know. Then we have Professor Shamahat from the Elite Crew. Pretty generic looking T-skin, except it's a pink and it's expensive, but we're ignoring prices and stuff like that on this tier list, so it's just your generic. I don't know, I mean, he is still just your generic T-crew, except I actually think I like the green shirt better than the white ones. It's just even worse that it is expensive. Yeah. Then we have ourselves 2 times McCoy TACP Cavalry. I mean, he's just pretty generic. I mean, he has the camo-ish sleeves. Not a lot of camo on it, though. It's more, like, bland than the camo. Maybe in-game is more camo. Kind of wish I could see the in-game for all these guys, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, pretty plain guy. But not even really good-looking either. I'd say he's probably a low C tier. And then, the same guy, we have 2 times McCoy USAF TACP, so it's a different skin, believe it or not. It's just the same guy with slightly different coloring and even less. There's not even like a hint of camo on the sleeves for this guy. Yeah, super generic looking. I mean, he's got the binoculars, just generic. Just everything about it is generic. There's nothing special here. Maybe the other guy didn't have camo, and if that's the case, I think they're actually some of the worst looking CT models. I'm gonna put them like here. I think that's about better. Anyway, next up we have ourselves Rezan the Red Shirts. This guy, it's the guy from before, except they get a shave, and it's, instead of like formal attire, it's almost like Air Force, like pilot attire. Pretty decent shave, pretty decent haircut, and then he has sleeves, but they're more generic sleeves. Like the black armband might actually hurt more than it helps, and then or it could help. I don't really know. I'm not too big on the whole glove agent skin combo stuff. I mean, I have like the most generic gloves known to man, and I bought like the first 2 agents I saw for like $1. So I'm not really the biggest guy when it comes to all this. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for, but I mean, I feel like that's gotta be something. And overall, it looks kind of okay. So I'm gonna say he's probably somewhere in C tier. I'm probably gonna put him right about here in C tier, right in the middle. I feel like that's about right. And then we have this guy's twin brother, Rizan the Ready Saber. He's got a red coat, which is pretty notable. And it's like a polar fleece. I don't think the other guy had a polar fleece. I feel like there was less exposed neck on the other guy. But yeah, that's really it. And, you know, the difference is red or the other color, which I already forgot what color it was, like tan or something. But yeah, if these sleeves actually matter, I think these guys might be low B tier, but I think realistically they're probably C tier, even if the sleeves make them kind of unique, because the agents themselves look pretty generic and kind of whatever. Speaking of generic whatever, actually this is not the rank guy in order, but whatever, we're gonna look at him now. Michael Cypher's FBI Sniper, one of the most generic looking CTs out there. I mean, I guess he's like more Asian looking than the others, but that's really it. He's really generic otherwise, just kind of whatever. Um, yeah, probably D tier. Then the guy I meant to click on, which was Black Wolf Saber. Less generic looking. He's got a ponytail. That's pretty notable. Still has the nice polar fleece coat. He's got some like stakes. It almost looks like. Looks to be knives, but they could be like vampire stakes. And a generally well dressed guy. Yeah, you get this guy because of the ponytail. I don't think anyone else has a ponytail. And he does have, you know, he does have like generic sleeves all the way down, which I guess I should have pointed out. But it's a really generic bland color. I can't imagine that's too crazy for any skin crafts or whatever. But the ponytail is you know, it's a unique touch. I think it puts him toward the upper end of C tier. Then we have Arno the Overgrown, Guerrilla Warfare, and this is, you know, white muscular guy. It looks actually a bit less cool than the other muscular guy we've seen. He doesn't have the cool glasses, which I think is kind of a negative. But yeah, I mean, he's got camo pants, white tank top, just super basic, super, like, muscular. His muscles, for whatever reason, at least with my settings, seem to shine a bit less, which I don't know why. I don't think that's a normal thing that matters, but yeah. He's just your counterpart. Different skin colors is literally the difference here. It's personal preference on which one you think looks better. So that. Then next up, we have First Lieutenant Farlow SWAT. Same thing as the other lieutenant, except it's just generic arm. I don't think the other lieutenant had generic arms, did they? We put them. I put the other one, yeah, the other one had camo arms, which I think are just a straight upgrade. Generally, the camo sleeves tend to look better with most skins than just the stock generic looking ones. This is just a downgraded version of the female camo operator. I'm gonna put it probably, you know, somewhere in C tier. Like, it's pretty decent looking thing all the way around. It's pretty clean. You know, you got a nice beanie, like headband, whatever. And everything about this is clean. There's like nothing out of place, but there's nothing, you know, amazing about this one either. Super notable, unlike the other one. Then we have Lieutenant Rex Reiki, Steel Frogman. Yeah, this guy's got a lot of extra stuff on his chest, but a lot of less stuff on his back. But the flippers kind of add a lot. There, I guess I didn't swap over. Flippers add a lot there. But he doesn't have a normal backpack. He's a front pack. Which I think is generally a negative, because normally you're peeking from the front, but I guess normally your gun's sticking out that way anyway, so it might actually be better to have less in the back, because that's where you're not too focused on, and that's where you're going to be spotted. This one might even be a competitive advantage, but the notable thing is, for whatever reason, his sleeves are just rolled up, like, for no good reason. I think they would have been camo sleeves or something, which would have been maybe okay, but it means it's just, in first person, you're definitely just seeing his arm, which is kind of a big negative. The minor chance of this is a competitive advantage is kind of, you know, a positive if it's real. And then also, I really like his hat. I don't know what you call this type of hat, but it's called like the slowpoke or whatever in TF2, I believe. I really like the look of like that little curled hat or whatever. It's pretty dope. But otherwise, it's kind of like a whatever skin. So if it has a competitive advantage, which this one I'm definitely not sure about, then it's probably like B tier, A tier. But otherwise, it's just kind of. He's kind of generic, kind of whatever, but he is a bit different, so I'll put him probably toward the lower end of C tier. Then we have one I've been kind of looking forward to looking at. The has Capitaine Gendorame National. I don't know how to fucking say this, but anyway, pretty generic, you know, blue armored sleeves or whatever, but a really cool looking face mask and like almost samurai looking helmet, which I think is kind of dope. But yeah, you're gonna get like just basic blue sleeves with this guy, but otherwise a really good look. On the agent, really cool unique face mask that I really think just looks amazing. Probably a little less cool than the light blue version of the guy in B tier, but this guy's definitely a very solid B tier contender. If these guys had unique sleeves, they'd probably be S tier. Then we have Safecracker Volsman, the professionals. And yeah, professional-ish dressed girl, but with like tattoos and stuff. And a welding mask on top of her bag, I guess. But I think the other professional one, honestly, first off, looked better just as a base skin. But also, you know, they had sleeves, so it's like a straight downgrade of the other person. I guess if you like their hair and whatever and the glasses, then this is better for you. But I think she kind of belongs with the formal attire guy at the bottom of C tier. Yeah, I mean, that's about all there's to say about that. Then we have ourselves Elite Trapper Soulman, Guerrilla Warfare, and he's got a cool, he's got nice necklace thing. I don't know what you call it. I think it is just necklace. And then the cool fucking bullet thing. That's what I was mainly. The reason I kept saying cool is because I really liked the look of the bullet ring around him over his shoulder, and I could not think of what to call it. Then you have his arm clipping through, I think what's supposed to be a bag, and normally it's not clipped through, but they just do not do a lot of testing with this type of stuff, I guess. He's got some nice, sunglasses on. He even has like a pistol holster on his side. And he's got, nice Hawaiian attire and an open shirt with some kind of muscles behind it. Pretty decent looking agent all around, but he does just have bare skin for, like his arms, which is kind of a net negative, but the actual agent skin itself looks fucking phenomenal. I'd say honestly, probably low A tier. I really like the look. Like, I like a lot of what he's got going on there, for sure. Especially the Hawaiian shirt. I'm a big fan of Hawaiian. Then we have Bloody Daryl, the straps, the professionals. He's got like a pretty cool looking, what's it called, Man of War type of vest. And then he has like a golden bracelet on his arm. And then a golden watch on the gun side. That's why you get him. If you like the golden watch, you like the golden watch. And for me, that's a pretty cool thing. I like the golden. So I'd say probably S tier. I have to put in some more time to see if the white and camo sleeves matter more than I think, but the watches I always see in game, so this is a very notable skin just for having a watch. Then we have number K from the professionals, and yeah, I mean it's like the condom man. He has like a fucking condom on his head, cigar in his mouth, and just generally just formal attire in the bag like the other guys. He even has white sleeves, which, like I said, not 100% sure if they matter. But otherwise, I mean, this guy is just really nice skin otherwise, and the condom on his head is just really funny. So it's just a net positive all around. Definitely an S tier skin. Probably my favorite. One of my favorites in the game before. Considering thinking about agent sleeves more. Then we have the Elite Mr. Mullick. Elite Crew. Just a generic T agent, honestly. There's nothing special about this guy. Yeah, just actually super generic. I got nothing else to say about that. Probably just a D tier. Then we have ourselves the Dr. Romanov Saber. And, this guy's got that cool hairdo, glasses, a mustache, and a beard. He's got some small bullets on his vest, but it's like, 8 or 10 bullets on the vest, nice red shirt on the bottom, the nice polar fleece, good pants and shoes, and he's got nice leather sleeves. But yeah, you got this guy if you like his face, the gray old hair, nice attire type of look, which I kind of fuck with. I'm gonna put it like high B tier, like pretty good. Then we have ourselves another muscular guy, Crasswalkily Forgotten, Guerrilla Warfare. This is like your standard Guerrilla Warfare looking guy. Very muscular. It's the same, it's an alternative to the other muscle guys, except I think the most realistic I've seen of the three. Like the other two look like they're what you'd see in a movie, but I feel like this guy, I mean, I guess it's also what you see in the movie. But yeah, it's all personal preference on what you like with the muscular guys, but this is the third muscular guy that there is. Then we have Commander May Deadcold Jameson SWAT. Unique hairdo. Nice, like, interesting color blue. I don't think we've seen this color of blue on any of the other, like, clothing so far. And you do have that on the sleeves, so that could be important. And then just a basic headset on. But yeah, if you like the hairdo, kind of like Ponytail guy, just like the female version of Ponytail guy. Uh, and you know, you do have sleeves on it, so that could matter for skins. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put her exactly where I had the Ponytail guy, which I believe is high C tier. Yeah, if you like the hairdo, you probably might like the agent, but otherwise, I don't know if it matters that much. I mean, the sleeves could matter, but I can't really tell. Yeah, just in case they do, I might bump this up to low B tier. I think the sleeves might matter here, but not that much. Then next up, Lieutenant Commander Ricksaw, NSWCC. I just can't stop reading this stuff. Anyway, you can see his sleeves are rolled up, net negative right there, and he's like the 2-time whatever they're called. I think that skin was called 2 something. Just like super generic and whatever. It's the same guy, but with his sleeves rolled up. I'm pretty sure. I guess the other guys probably also had him rolled up. But yeah, he looks super generic, super whatever. I guess he has less face glow than the other two. You can see the other have like an antenna kind of covering their face in the preview in low D tier. But this guy still just doesn't look, even without the antennas covering his face or whatever, he just kind of looks whatever. Super generic. Would not spend extra money to have this skin. Then we have Chef Descaron Rouchard, Gendarme National again. You know, we have a different color. I think it's like the third color blue he's saying, or maybe this color's repeated and I'm just forgetful. But you got the one hat that the other guy had, with a nice, just armored, like, dark blue set of sleeves. They're kind of whatever. And just your standard agent. I guess I wasn't the whole time, man. I should have maybe done this when I wasn't super tired. But yeah, you got like the radio there, generic sleeves, the one type of hat, and I guess the female operator. I think that comes with like different noises for taking damage and whatnot. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, just kind of whatever looking, just like the other guy. Like they're both around the same area in low C tier. Then next up, we have ourselves medium rare Crasswater Guerrilla Warfare, and this is completely shirtless muscular guy, which I think is kind of a net positive, to be honest. And then I think he has the exact same face and pant models as the other guy, but this guy's shirtless, and that's kind of dope, so I'm going to move him to the top of the muscular guys just for that. I think being completely shirtless is just kind of a nice look. Then next up, we have Special Agent Ava, FBI. See, this one's a weirdly clean. Like, I can read this text super clearly. This is Agent darker blue, which I don't think we've seen before. Just normal jeans on. I think that's her hair, but it's got like 2 different colors for some reason. You have the headbands. They're not the headband. The headset. And yeah, I mean, you got the sleeves. You got a standard looking agent. Otherwise, I think she's with the probably low C tier. Yeah, she's a female agent, which I don't think stock agents can be female. Maybe I'm wrong with that. But that's already enough to put her in C tier, but I think there's not anything to really push her above that. I think all the other female operators kind of just look better. At least ones we've seen so far. Then we have Sir Bloody Silent Daryl, the professionals. This guy has a silver watch and a different mask. Silver watch is a bit less cool than gold, to be honest, and I think that's enough to put him down into, like, probably below the muscular guys in A tier. Then next up, we have ourselves Sir Bloody Skullhead Daryl, the professionals. And this guy has a gold watch, pretty nice general look, and a decent looking mask, and I guess blonde hair if that ever comes into play. Yeah, I mean, this is, yet again, the skin you mainly get for the watch. I think the mask on this guy is cooler than the other gold watch guy, so I'm gonna put him above him in the tier list. Then next up, we have Vipa Sista of the Revolution, Guerrilla Warfare, and yeah, like, sorry, she's pretty. She's got the I thought she had the bullets around her, like, almost like around the back of her shoulder, but she doesn't have that. She's weirdly just kind of floating there on the front as like shoulder straps almost. The dog tags are there. There's like some tattoos and whatnot. but she kind of looks whatever in my opinion. Nothing too crazy, and there is skin instead of like a sleeve or something, which makes it a bit less nice. I think she's not like super muscular or anything. It's not like a lot of extra details there. This one's up to personal preference, but I think she's probably just somewhere in B tier, probably about there. Then next up we have ourselves Sir Bloody Daryl Royale, the professionals. This guy, yet again, golden watch, but he has like the same look as the other guy with the golden watch, like the second guy, with a different colored mask. And I think honestly, of the three, his mask is probably second best. I like the other guy's mask a bit more. Then next up we have Sir Bloody Loudmouth Daryl, the professionals. And this is another watch guy, another golden watch guy. He's got a bit more of a scary clown mask type of thing going on, and then a little bit different color in the clothing, but no one really cares about the clothing. It's all about the watch and the mask. And I think his mask is better than the other guy's mask there. And honestly, probably his mask as well. I think this is probably the second best guy of the 4 golden watches we've seen so far. It was there in the tier list. And then next up, we have Commander Frank Wet Socks Barode Seal Frogman. Same thing where if the backpack being gone on the front is actually a major advantage, like I think it might be, then that's definitely a major advantage. But otherwise, unlike the other guy that looked pretty decent, regardless of that, this guy looks pretty shit. If you're not just talking about the fact that might be like an actual in-game advantage, the actual character model looks awful, like just a wetsuit or whatever. A cool looking goggles, I guess, but everything else about it just looks whatever, or just negative, like just bad. I guess you do have some kind of like multicolored sleeve thing for his arm, so that might have an impact, but the actual agent looks pretty fucking awful. I wouldn't want to use it. I'd say it's probably an F tier. Then next up we have ourselves Commander Davida Goggles Fernandez Seal Frogman, and unlike the other guy, who at least everything in the front, she has a pretty big backpack, probably bigger than normal it seems. She doesn't have a full wetsuit, but she has everything except the head, which basically puts in the same position as the other guy. And I think honestly that the backpack looks better in the front pack, but it also is just definitely not an in-game advantage. This might actually be a disadvantage, it seems. The same color of sleeves and everything too. I guess the only difference is that she's the female operator and he's the guy, but I think they're both still F tier. I don't like the look of the skins, they don't fit the game at all. And our final guy is Sir Bloody Miami Daryl, the professionals. Yet again, gold watch, this time Hawaiian shirt. Big fan of the Hawaiian shirt myself. And, just normal, like, mask. A normal mask. The other guys had some weird, whatever mask. This guy just has a normal mask. Probably looks a lot better in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, he's the best of the golden watches, I'd say. And then I guess there's only one guy with the silver watch. I guess that's something to keep in mind. Might put him up a bit higher because he's kind of unique. But yeah, that's all the agents in CSGO on the tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at these agents as much as I did, and I will see you in the next one.